Ryan Chilcote is a journalist and political analyst. Ryan, thanks so much for joining us. Can we start by give us a broader perspective, a historical perspective of what's happening here in the relationship between these two countries and these two men?
Look, Russia and China have a very long history and a very confused relationship. We've heard a lot about Russia getting closer to China for the last, let's say, 10 years as Russia's fallout with the West has grown. But to be fair, it's been mostly in the business sphere and in governmental relations. Uh, you, you know, you, Traditionally, Russia, the Soviet Union before Russia, Imperial Russia, always was a little bit skeptical of China. China's a very large country on its border. They're concerned that the Chinese may want access to Russia's resources, to its land to grow, vegetables and food. That's been a big thing. So today, when the two leaders announced that this was a relationship without limits, in a way, that's a bit of a reference to the fact that both countries and the Russians, as part of this, put limits on the relationship up to now. So geopolitically, it doesn't really strike me as all that surprising that they're getting closer and closer, because obviously Vladimir Putin has a card here to play against the West. But, ultimately, let's not forget that the reality is the vast majority of Russians do feel closer to Europe, right? They wouldn't just be happy with, getting rid of the West and replacing it with China. And so I think, this whole relationship shouldn't be overplayed. Geopolitically useful, but only to a point. And even when it comes to business, let's not forget, the Russians are selling lots of natural gas to China. That doesn't mean they want to lose the European market for gas sales. That's been a huge source of revenue for Russia for many, many years.
Yeah, and where does Ukraine now fit into this in terms of what Beijing can do for Russia? I mean, we're just seeing those pictures of those Ukrainian soldiers there in the West, in other words, right on the border there near with Russia, conducting their most recent exercises.
So, look, Russia has a bone of contention with the West over Ukraine. China has a bone of contention with the West over Taiwan. So as the Russians sort of try to get what they want with Ukraine, they're at the same time, leaning on Chinese support for that. And the Chinese are expecting the same when it comes to Taiwan from the Russians in their struggle with the West, which is why we got this announcement from the two leaders today saying that that NATO should refrain from its eastward push, at which quickly drew a response from NATO.
Ryan, thank you, as always, for your time. Ryan Chilcote.